Absolutely. I can create it as an original motivational English learning script for your YouTube channel with a warm, inspiring tone similar to the kind of motivational content associated with Munibo Mazari, but not impersonating her or presenting it as her actual speech. No study, just listen. Speak English like a native. Hello everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever understood English when someone was speaking slowly, but the moment a native speaker started talking, everything suddenly felt confusing? Maybe you know hundreds of English words. Maybe you have studied grammar rules. Maybe you have watched English lessons. Maybe you have memorized vocabulary lists, but when it is finally your turn to speak, your mind becomes completely blank. You know what you want to say, but you cannot find the words. You know the grammar, but you are afraid of making a mistake. You understand the sentence in your head, but your mouth refuses to say it, and then you think, maybe my English is not good enough, but what if that is not true? What if the problem is not that you are incapable of learning English? What if you have simply been learning English in a way that does not train your brain to speak naturally? Today, I want you to forget the pressure. Forget the fear of grammar. Forget the fear of mistakes. Forget the idea that you need to study English for hours every single day. For a few minutes, just listen. Listen carefully. Listen naturally. Let the English enter your mind without trying to translate every single word. Because speaking a language is not only about knowing it. Speaking is about becoming comfortable with it. Think about a child learning their first language. A child does not begin by studying grammar books. A child does not memorize thousands of vocabulary words. A child does not sit down and write complicated sentences. The child listens, again and again, every day. The child hears the same words, the same expressions, the same questions, the same sounds. At first, the child understands almost nothing. Then slowly, something changes. The sounds begin to have meaning, words begin to connect, sentences begin to feel familiar, and eventually the child begins to speak. This is an important lesson for every English learner. You do not always need to study harder. Sometimes you need to listen more. You need to give your brain enough exposure to English so that English starts feeling familiar. So today, do not worry about understanding every word. If you understand 70%, keep listening. If you understand 50%, keep listening. Even if you understand only a little, keep listening, because your brain is still learning. You may not notice the progress immediately. But every sentence you hear is giving your brain another example of how English works. And one day, a sentence that once sounded difficult will suddenly sound easy. You will hear an expression and think, oh, I know that. That is progress, and progress does not always make noise. Sometimes progress is silent. Sometimes you are improving without realizing it. So be patient with yourself. You are not behind, you are learning. Now, let's begin. I want you to imagine that you are having a normal conversation with someone who speaks English naturally. Do not translate everything, just listen. Imagine we are talking about your daily life. Someone asks you, how are you doing today? You might answer, I'm doing pretty well. Or I'm good, thanks. How about you? Or I'm doing great. Notice something. Native speakers often use short, simple expressions. They do not always use complicated vocabulary. You do not need to sound like a dictionary. You need to sound comfortable. Instead of trying to say, I am experiencing a particularly positive emotional condition today, you can simply say, I'm feeling great today. Simple English is powerful English. Never be ashamed of using simple words. Your goal is not to impress people with difficult vocabulary. Your goal is to communicate. Your goal is to express yourself. Your goal is to connect with another human being. So let's practice naturally. Listen to these sentences. I'm tired. I'm really tired today. I didn't sleep well last night. I need some rest. I'll feel better after I get some sleep. These sentences are simple, but they are useful. And useful English is the English you should practice. Now imagine someone asks, what are you doing? You can say, I'm working, I'm studying, I'm watching a movie, I'm just relaxing, I'm getting ready to go out, I'm talking to a friend. I'm trying to learn English. Look at how easy that is. You do not need a complicated sentence. You need a sentence you can actually use. This is one of the secrets of natural English. Learn phrases, not isolated words. Do not only learn the word decision. Learn, I need to make a decision. Do not only learn the word idea. Learn, I have an idea. Do not only learn the word busy. Learn, I've been really busy lately. Do not only learn understand. Learn, I understand what you mean. When you learn English in complete phrases, your brain begins to recognize patterns. And when you speak, you do not have to build every sentence from zero. The phrase is already there. It becomes automatic. That is what you want. You want English to become automatic. You want to stop thinking, which tense should I use? What is the correct preposition? Is this sentence grammatically perfect? Instead, you want your brain to say, that sounds right. That feeling comes from exposure and practice. It comes from listening. It comes from repetition. It comes from using English again and again. So listen and repeat if you want. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure yet. These small phrases are extremely useful. Now listen to another group. Give me a second. Just a moment. Let me think. Let me check. I'll let you know. I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. These are the kinds of expressions that make your English sound natural. You do not need to memorize them all today. Just listen. Your brain needs time. Learning English is not a race. You are not competing with anyone. There is no prize for learning the fastest. There is only your journey, and your journey is yours. Maybe someone around you speaks English fluently. Maybe they learned it years ago. Maybe they grew up speaking it. Do not compare yourself to them. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. If yesterday you could understand 10 sentences, and today you understand 15, that is progress. If yesterday you were afraid to speak, and today you said 1 sentence, that is progress. If yesterday you avoided English conversations and today you listened for 20 minutes, that is progress. Celebrate it, because confidence grows through small victories. Now let's talk about one of the biggest problems English learners face, translation. You hear an English sentence, you translate it into your native language, then you think about the meaning. Then you think about how to respond in your native language. Then you translate your answer back into English. By the time you are ready to speak, the conversation has already moved forward. This is exhausting. And it can make speaking feel impossible. So how do you stop translating? You do not stop overnight. You train your brain gradually. Start connecting English directly with meaning. For example, when you hear coffee, do not immediately think of the word in your native language. Imagine coffee, imagine the cup, imagine the smell, imagine drinking it in the morning. When you hear rain, imagine rain. When you hear hungry, feel the idea of hunger. When you hear happy, think of a moment that made you happy. This creates a direct connection between English and meaning, and slowly, English becomes less dependent on translation. Now listen to a short conversation. How was your day? It was pretty good. What did you do? I went to work, came home, and relaxed. That sounds nice. Yeah, I was really tired. Did you eat? Not yet. I'm thinking about ordering something. What do you feel like eating? I don't know. Maybe pizza. Pizza sounds good. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Look at this conversation. There is nothing complicated, but it sounds natural because it uses everyday phrases. How was your day? What did you do? That sounds nice. I'm really tired. I don't know. Maybe. I think I'll. These expressions are more valuable than complicated words you never use. So when you learn English, ask yourself, can I use this sentence in real life? If the answer is yes, learn it. If the answer is no, you may not need it right now. Now let's practice another important skill, reacting naturally. When someone tells you something, you need expressions that keep the conversation alive. For example, really, no way, that's interesting, exactly, I agree, absolutely, of course. I know what you mean. That makes sense. Good for you. That sounds amazing. I'm sorry to hear that. These expressions help you communicate naturally. You do not have to give a long answer every time. Sometimes a simple reaction is enough. Imagine your friend says, I got a new job. You can say, really, that's amazing. Your friend says, I'm moving to another city. You can say, wow, that's a big change. Someone says, I'm having a difficult day. You can say, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay? This is real communication. English is not just grammar. English is emotion. English is connection. English is listening. English is responding. English is understanding another person and allowing another person to understand you. So do not turn English into a punishment. Make it part of your life. Listen while you are walking. Listen while you are cooking. Listen while you are cleaning. Listen before you sleep. Listen when you have a few free minutes. You do not always need a desk. You do not always need a notebook. You do not always need a textbook. Sometimes all you need is your attention. Listen and listen again. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is how your brain learns patterns. The first time you hear a sentence, it may sound unfamiliar. The second time, you recognize a few words. The fifth time, you recognize the whole phrase. The 10th time, you may be able to say it yourself. This is why listening repeatedly can be so powerful. Now let's practice some common phrases. I'm on my way. I'll be there soon. I'm almost there. Take your time. No worries. It's okay. Don't worry about it. That's fine. Sounds good. Works for me. I'm not sure. I'll see what I can do. I'll try my best. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. These phrases can appear in thousands of conversations. Imagine learning them so well that you no longer have to think about them. Someone asks, "Are you coming?" You immediately say, "I'm on my way." Someone says, "Sorry I'm late." You say, "No worries." Someone suggests a plan. You say, "Sounds good." Someone asks for your opinion. You say, "Let me think about it." This is natural communication. Now let's talk about pronunciation. Many learners think they need a perfect accent. You do not. Your goal is clear communication. Your accent is part of your identity. You can improve pronunciation without trying to erase who you are. Listen carefully to how native speakers connect words. For example, what are you doing? In fast speech, it may sound more connected than the individual words suggest. Did you eat? Did you get it? Are you going to? I want to. I have to. Native speakers often connect sounds. This is one reason English can sound difficult when you first listen. You may know every word in a sentence, but when the words are connected, you do not recognize them. That is why listening is so important. Your ears need to become familiar with natural speech. Do not panic when English sounds fast. Slow down the recording if necessary. Listen to the sentence, then listen again, then try to repeat it. You do not have to repeat perfectly. Just imitate the rhythm. English has a rhythm. It has stress. It has pauses. It has rising and falling sounds. The more you listen, the more naturally your mouth begins to follow those patterns. And remember, you do not need to speak fast to speak well. Speak clearly, speak calmly, take your time. A pause is not a failure. A pause is normal. Even fluent speakers pause. They think. They change their sentence. They correct themselves. They forget words. They say, They say, let me think. They start again. So stop expecting yourself to speak perfectly. Perfection is one of the biggest enemies of confidence. If you wait until your English is perfect before you speak, you may wait forever. Speak now. Make mistakes now. Learn now, improve now. Your mistakes are not proof that you are bad at English. They are evidence that you are practicing. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Would you expect a child to ride perfectly on the first attempt? Of course not. The child falls. The child gets back up. The child tries again. Eventually, balance becomes natural. Speaking English is similar. At first, you think about every movement. Eventually, your brain becomes faster. That is why you should give yourself permission to make mistakes. Say, I made a mistake, and not, I am bad at English. There is a huge difference. One describes an action, the other attacks your identity. Never turn a mistake into a judgment about yourself. You are learning. Now let's continue with everyday English. Imagine waking up in the morning. You might say, I just woke up. I'm still sleepy. I need coffee. I have a busy day ahead. I need to get ready. I'm running late. I have to leave soon. These are useful phrases at work. I'm working on it. I'll finish it soon. Can you help me? Could you explain that again? I didn't catch that. Could you say that one more time? This last phrase is especially important. If you do not understand someone, do not be embarrassed. Ask them to repeat. Sorry, could you say that again? Could you speak a little more slowly? I didn't quite understand. These are confident phrases. You are not failing because you did not understand. Communication is a two-way process. Sometimes people speak too fast. Sometimes there is background noise. Sometimes the accent is unfamiliar. Sometimes the topic is new. It happens to everyone, so ask, listen again, keep going. Now imagine you are shopping. You might say, how much is this? Do you have this in another size? Can I try this on? Do you have anything cheaper? I'm just looking, thanks. I'll think about it. I'll take it. Again, simple English, but extremely useful. Imagine you are traveling. Where is the nearest station? How much does this cost? Could you help me? Which way should I go? How long does it take? Is it far from here? These sentences can help you communicate in real situations. This is why your English practice should focus on life. Do not only learn English for exams, learn English for conversations. Learn it for travel, learn it for work, learn it for friendships, learn it for opportunities. Learn it because you want to express yourself without fear. Now I want you to think about confidence. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes from action. Many people say, when my English improves, I will start speaking. But usually it works the other way around. Start speaking, your English improves. Speak again, your confidence grows. Speak again, your fear becomes smaller. Speak again, your brain becomes faster. You do not need to wait for confidence. Build confidence by doing the thing you are afraid to do. Maybe today you can say 5 sentences in English. Tomorrow, say 10. Next week, have a short conversation. Little by little, your comfort zone expands, and one day you will realize, I'm not afraid anymore. That moment is beautiful. Not because your English became perfect, but because fear stopped controlling you. Now let's practice a small story. Listen carefully. My name is Daniel. I used to be afraid of speaking English. I understood a lot when I listened, but I could not speak confidently. Every time someone asked me a question, I would translate the answer in my head. Sometimes I knew the answer, but by the time I was ready to speak, the conversation had moved on. Then I changed the way I practiced. Instead of studying grammar all day, I started listening to English every morning. I listened while having breakfast. I listened while walking. I listened before going to bed. At first, I understood only part of what I heard, but I kept going. I listened to the same conversations many times. I repeated useful phrases. I started speaking to myself in English. I described what I was doing. I'm making breakfast. I'm going outside. I need to finish this. I'm feeling tired. Slowly, English became more familiar. After a few months, something changed. I stopped translating every sentence. I started thinking in English for short periods, then longer periods, and one day I had a conversation with a native speaker. I made mistakes, but I did not panic. I kept talking. That was the moment I realized that fluency is not perfection. Fluency is the ability to keep communicating. Remember that. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is communication. You do not need to know every word. Native speakers do not know every word either. If you forget a word, explain it another way. For example, you forget the word umbrella. You can say the thing you use when it rains. You forget the word kettle. You can say the thing you use to boil water. This is a powerful skill. If you do not know a word, do not stop. Explain it, keep going. That is what real communication looks like. Now let's practice some phrases for when you forget something. What's the word? I can't remember the word. How do you say this in English? I mean, let me explain. What I'm trying to say is, these phrases give you time. They help you continue the conversation. You do not have to be perfect. You just need to keep moving. Now think about your listening habits. What do you normally listen to? If you only listen to English during a 1-hour study session, your brain gets limited exposure. But if you listen for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and 10 minutes at night, you create more contact with the language. Consistency matters. 10 minutes every day can be more valuable than 2 hours once a week, because language learning is about repetition. Your brain needs regular contact, so create a simple routine. Wake up, listen to English. During your day, listen again. At night, listen again. Do not make it complicated. You do not need 20 different resources. Choose a few voices you understand. Choose topics you enjoy. Listen regularly, and most importantly, enjoy it. If you hate every minute of your English practice, you will eventually stop. But if English becomes part of something you enjoy, you will continue. Watch stories, listen to interviews, listen to motivational speeches, watch simple conversations, listen to podcasts, choose something interesting. Because your attention matters. If you are interested in the topic, you will listen longer, and the more you listen, the more your brain learns. Now let's practice emotional English. I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm worried, I'm disappointed. I'm proud of myself. I'm feeling better. I'm having a difficult day. I need some time. I'm okay. I'll be okay. That last sentence is powerful. I'll be okay. Maybe you are learning English and struggling. Maybe you feel behind. Maybe you have failed before. Maybe you have tried many times. Say to yourself, I'll be okay. You do not have to become fluent today. You just have to continue today, tomorrow, continue again, one day at a time, one sentence at a time, one conversation at a time, and one day you will look back and realize how far you have come. Now let's practice questions. What do you think? How do you feel about it? What happened? What are you looking for? What do you mean? Why do you think so? What would you do? What's your favorite? What do you usually do? What are you planning to do? Questions are the engine of conversation. If you can ask questions, you can keep a conversation alive. For example, what do you do? What do you like to do in your free time? What kind of music do you listen to? Where are you from? How long have you lived there? What are your plans for the weekend? These questions are simple, but they open doors. Now imagine someone asks you, what do you like to do in your free time? You could answer, I like watching movies. I enjoy listening to music. I usually spend time with my family. I like going for walks. I enjoy learning new things. Then ask, what about you? That simple phrase keeps the conversation moving. What about you? Remember it. It is one of the most useful phrases in English. Now let's talk about one more important thing, thinking in English. You do not need to think in English all day. Start with small moments. When you wake up, think, I'm awake. I'm tired. I need to get up. When you brush your teeth, I'm brushing my teeth. When you make breakfast, I'm making breakfast. When you leave, I'm going outside. When you arrive, I'm here. When you return, I'm back home. This may feel strange at first. That is okay. You are training your brain. You are teaching yourself to connect daily experiences with English words. Eventually, these thoughts become automatic. You can also describe things around you. This is my phone. That is my chair. The door is open. The window is closed. It's hot today. It's getting dark. There are people outside. This is not childish. This is smart practice, because you are using English with your real environment. Now let's make your English more natural with contractions. Instead of always saying, I am, native speakers commonly use I'm instead of you are. They often say you're. Instead of he is, he's, she is, she's, we are, we're, they are, they're, and I will becomes I'll, I have becomes I've, I would becomes I'd, I cannot often becomes I can't, I do not becomes I don't, These forms are common in everyday conversation. Listen to them repeatedly. Do not worry about memorizing a huge list. Just become familiar with them. Now listen, I'm going to call you later. I'll call you later. I don't know. I can't remember. I've already seen it. I'm not sure. I'd love to go. I'll see you tomorrow. These are natural everyday sentences. The more you hear them, the more comfortable they become. Now let's talk about fear. Maybe you are afraid people will laugh at your English. Maybe you are afraid of pronunciation mistakes. Maybe you are afraid someone will correct you. But ask yourself, what is more important, looking perfect for 5 minutes? Or becoming fluent over time? Choose growth. Some people may judge you. Let them. Your life is too valuable to be controlled by someone else's opinion. You are learning something new. You should be proud. Every time you speak despite fear, you become stronger. Every mistake teaches you something. Every conversation gives you experience. Every listening session trains your ears. Every new phrase gives you another tool, and slowly you build something powerful. You build a voice that can communicate, a voice that can express your ideas, a voice that can tell your story. Never underestimate the power of being able to express yourself. Language is not only vocabulary. Language is freedom. It allows you to connect with people you may never have met otherwise. It allows you to learn from different cultures. It gives you access to information. It can create opportunities, and it can help you discover a bigger world. So keep going. Now, before we finish, I want you to listen to one final conversation. Hey, how are you? I'm good. How about you? I'm doing great. What have you been up to? Not much. I've just been working a lot lately. Really? That sounds busy. Yeah, it has been, but I'm enjoying it. That's good. Are you doing anything this weekend? I'm not sure yet. I might stay home and relax. Honestly, that sounds pretty nice. Yeah, I really need some rest. I understand. Well, let me know if you make any plans. Sure, I will. Take care. You too. See you soon. Notice how simple that conversation is. No complicated vocabulary. No perfect academic sentences. Just natural communication. That is your goal, not perfection. Natural communication. Comfort, confidence, understanding, and connection. So from today, change the way you think about English. Do not say, I have to study English. Say, I'm going to spend time with English. Do not say, my English is terrible. Say, my English is improving. Do not say, I'm afraid to make mistakes. Say, mistakes are part of learning. Do not say, I need to become fluent immediately. Say, I will improve one day at a time. Your words matter. The way you talk to yourself matters. If you constantly tell yourself that you cannot do something, your fear becomes stronger. But if you remind yourself that you are learning, your mind becomes more open. So be patient, be consistent. Be brave, listen again, repeat, speak, make mistakes, try again, and keep going. You may not notice a difference after one day. You may not notice a difference after 1 week. But if you continue for months, you will change. Your ears will become stronger. Your vocabulary will grow, your pronunciation will improve, your confidence will increase, your sentences will become faster, and English will start feeling less like a subject and more like a part of your life. That is what we want. We want English to become natural. So today, you do not need to study. Just listen. Let the words enter your mind. Let the sounds become familiar. Let the phrases repeat. You are not required to understand every word. You are not required to remember every sentence. Just stay with the language, listen, breathe, relax, and enjoy the process, because learning a language is not about becoming someone else. It is about giving yourself another way to express who you already are. Your accent does not make you less intelligent. Your mistakes do not make you less capable. Your current level does not define your future. Maybe today you speak slowly. That is okay. Maybe today you make mistakes. That is okay. Maybe today you understand only half of this video. That is okay. Come back tomorrow, listen again, and then come back the next day. Your future self will thank you for not giving up. One day you will be in a conversation. someone will ask you a question, and instead of panicking, you will answer. Naturally, without translating every word, without thinking about every grammar rule, without being afraid, you will simply speak. And perhaps you will smile because you will remember the days when you thought it was impossible. That moment is waiting for you, but you have to keep going. So believe in yourself. Give yourself time. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. And most importantly, keep listening. Because sometimes the biggest change begins with something very simple. You listen, then you listen again, then you speak, then you try again, and slowly the language becomes yours. So if you are listening to this right now, repeat these words with me. I can learn English. I can speak English. I do not need to be perfect. I am allowed to make mistakes. I am improving every day. I will keep going. I will become more confident. I will speak without fear. And finally, I believe in myself. Say it again. I believe in myself because your English journey is not about proving yourself to other people. It is about proving to yourself that you can grow. You can learn, you can change, you can improve, and you can do things that once felt impossible. So keep listening. Keep speaking, keep learning, keep believing, and never forget. You do not become fluent because you studied one perfect lesson. You become fluent because you showed up again and again, one word, one phrase, one sentence, one conversation. One day at a time. That is how progress happens. That is how confidence grows. That is how your voice becomes stronger. And that is how one day you will stop saying, I am trying to speak English, and you will simply say, I speak English, keep going.